Good morning, Judy here from Thistledew Creations. I thought before I go on to Easter, I just put all my Valentine's stuff in the other room. But I thought before I go on to Easter, I should do a couple of St. Patty's Day things. So I'll show you some things I've made in the past. I just decorated this envelope with a printable of the Irish blessing. The green postage stamp, it's US postage stamp, and a little bit of green tape measure printable on a pink envelope because of the clover that was in the design. And with the same printable, I made a journaling card. It doesn't really have a proper backer on it. It's just a piece of cereal box or something that I put that printable on the front of it. Probably should put some coffee dyed paper on the back. It would maybe be more authentic feeling. May do that later. And this is something my mom made. And I haven't done any of these, but I'm sure I could. She did sometimes with folded paper and sometimes with ribbon. She would do these designs, and she made this one. Life is measured by moments. And they were usually the front of a card. That's what she made them for. I think it's called iris folding. Anyway, that's some stuff Irish themed that I've already got made up. I've gathered some supplies, and in my supplies, I think this came to me in a swap. Yeah, it's Irish postage stamps that I've set aside in my Irish box. So I try to use one of these big 12 by 12 containers, the ones that will store 12 by 12 paper. And I have one for Irish because my husband's family is from Ireland, so it's not just St. Patty's Day, it's Irish themed. But I have Valentine's, Easter, Halloween. Halloween needs to be maybe 2 boxes now because I have quite a bit Halloween stuff. So I try to sort of sort things throughout the year as I find them into those boxes so that when the time comes, like today, that I feel like doing some stuff like that, then it's already in one spot. So I don't think this map, well, it's Wimbledon, so that's England, I think. But the postage stamps are all Irish. And I've got my green buttons. I use these plastic coffee jars. Maxwell House, I think, coffee jars. So I use those to sort my buttons. I've got a bunch of green ones. I'm sure I'll need those. I got these in a swap the other day. Green pouches and green paper bags. Brought a couple of those ones out. They just looked very Irish to me. This is a printable of a 4-leaf clover, and then you can't really read the background stuff. And then I've got some Guinness cutouts. These are off the carton from the Guinness that my husband drinks. And so I've cut those out to use. And this is a collage sheet that I did quite a while ago and did a photocopy onto some cream colored paper, almost a yellow color. And then on this other one, I photocopied Danny Boy music onto the back side of it. Got a map showing Ireland. I've got a couple of postcards, one from Limerick and one for King John's Castle. So I might be able to work those in. And what's this one? Just a bunch of bar signs, it looks like. Colorful Irish pub signs from around the island of Ireland. That's a cool one. And then Aran Islands. Early morning walk on the Aran Islands, County Galway, Ireland. And that's where my husband's family's from. And Adair Island, Ireland. And this is the person that sent me the Irish things, Veronica. Traditional thatched cottage window, Adair County, Limerick, Ireland. Love that. And then classic Irish fairy tales. This I may be able to really use. Something out of. I might want to photocopy that before I use it. And just a brochure, like a travel brochure. And I always ask for these kinds of things. People don't often think to send you this kind of stuff. Good little map there that I can use. A bigger map showing Limerick. Just the pictures of the houses, a very distinct style. There's all kinds of good pictures in these. And a really good map out of a map book. I think that came from Veronica as well. And what's this? Ireland's natural heritage. So these would be good little things to have fussy cut out or fussy torn out and used on altered paper clips or something. They're kind of a small enough size. I have a Celtic link stamp that I can use to dress up whatever I do. And I have this little miniature hanky. I guess it would be more of a coaster size, but crocheted lace around the outside and embroidered shamrocks. That would make a great tuck spot. And I have some more printables, and these I've backed onto some sort of cardstock. This was one of the very first things that I did 3 years ago or more. I could use that as a focal point somewhere. That could be quite nice. And then some more of the Danny Boy. I was on the lookout at first when I was photocopying music paper for white background music paper. And this is a good hint if you are going to be photocopying instead of using vintage music paper, is look for white background music paper, and then you can photocopy it onto whatever kind of paper you want. So this was a piece of some sort of dyed paper that I received in a swap. And it just makes it more interesting to have that yellowish and brownish background. So that's something that if you are going to be printing your music, look for white music. It won't take as much ink is the point. You can just put it on different colors of paper. And then I've got some body stickers of shamrocks. I don't have a lot of real fun stuff for Irish. And then there's that same lady in a much larger size. And there's some that I haven't cut out yet, a different size and the same size. So if I don't want to use the cardstock ones because they're kind of curling, I do have more that's just paper. And then I do have some vintage music that I did save and put in my Irish box when I found it. If I knock the L out of Kelly, it would still be Kelly to me. This is old. It was from a music teacher. 1916 is the copyright. Yaddy, caddy, kitty, caddy, coo. And this, yeah, it's in Roman numerals MCMXVI. And then, 'Twas an Irishman's Dream, sung with great success by America's foremost singing comedienne, Blanche Ring. I guess this is just a single page. 'Twas only an Irishman's dream. Very nice aged paper, MCMXVI. If you're watching and you can Google it, let us know in the comments below what that date is in years. So yeah, I don't know that I would use, well, I could use her face, but I could definitely use this girl peeking out behind a picture of Ireland or something. Either fussy cut, and I could use this. I think I'm going to start with harvesting from this and see what we come up with. You're Irish and you're beautiful. This one looks a little newer. MCMXLIII. You're Irish and you're beautiful. So it's just the sheet music for that one song. Bing Crosby's album of song souvenirs. 50 cents. And then even the ads on the back can be interesting. So what to make? I think I'm going to start with this music. And probably use Danny Boy. And some green buttons and maybe this map of Ireland. It's hard to know where to start sometimes when you don't have a clear idea in mind when you sit down, but that's quite often how I work. Okay, so fussy cutting. I'm going to go ahead and use these scissors. You could use a good cleaning and sharpening likely. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut out this this border and cover over the woman and keep this lady. But I think I'm going to cut away this background and put maybe some Irish scenery or something behind her. So have the map, the lady, maybe the Danny Boy music will be behind her. That would work too. So I'm going to start by, I do want to save this little snippet down at the bottom here. And what I'll do is I will use my ripple scissors to cut it out. And I'll probably just go ahead and get rid of that border, but I'll save it. I could still use the border, I just don't want it on the little label that I'm going to have. I have a little book that I keep those in, those things. So let's fussy cut Missy here. I'm not really, I know it's an Irish song, but I don't know the song, so I'm not too worried about that I'm not saving the music. I know it could be terribly wasteful, but if it doesn't mean anything to me, I'm sure it's not the only copy in existence or anything like that. I've got plenty of music already listed on my Etsy shop, and it's very slow to sell. So use it how you want to use it. Don't get hung up on it. Being old. I like her green striped dress. So I'm cutting with just a very small border around her, which I will ink. And you'll see the difference that makes when I do it. It's quite incredible. If you try to cut right on the edge of the green outline, it looks good too, but I find that I can't do that perfectly, so I'd rather leave a little border and ink it. And sometimes if it's something more like if it's an animal with fur or something, I'll use my ripple scissors to fussy cut it. Instead of trying to go around every little zig and zag in the fur, I just kind of give it a rough look with the zigzag scissors. So you'll notice I'm moving the paper more so than moving the scissors. Scissors aren't even closing very much. Like I haven't reset back to the bottom of the scissor very many times. Just above the green line of her hat. And then I'm going to go up. Holding it a little further away from my body than I usually do because I want to make sure you can see. So it's a little different, but it's still working okay. And I'll have to recut that bottom edge because I've got the ripple there. It doesn't really take all that long to fussy cut something like this. Now, if you're getting into flowers and leaves and all the tiny little bits, it can be a little more tedious. And then you can go back in with tiny little scissors and do like in the heel of her shoe and things like that. I don't know where my little scissors, oh, there's a pair. Didn't even really need to do that, but it's done. Okay, so there's that element to work with. A few little scraps from that. See, now here's some copyright words. I might just do this. And stick that with those other little bits and bobs. That's kind of all cut in half, so that can go. And then that would be interesting just for an architectural bit. And then the word Irishman possibly be used. This border can definitely be used. The Guinness stuff, I had fully intend to do some Guinness themed ATCs. So I don't know if we'll get to that today. It'd be fun if we did. Okay, and then this map, let's see how big this needs to be. We need something about 4 to 4.5 by 6 3/4 to 7. This might be a little brighter than I would like. I wonder if this one would be better. They're not much different in size. I think I kind of like the coloring of this one better, having that bit of pink on there. It's kind of pretty. So 4 to 4.5, I could leave that stripe. I'm just lining up my ruler with the stripe, the edge of it, so I know I'm straight. And I'm going to go 4.5 to start with. and 4.5. Actually, I'm going to leave this. I should go over it. I'll go over about 1 centimeter, I guess. Still cut it here for now. And I said by about 7, so I could again leave part of this bit of map so it really is apparent that I've taken this off of a real map page, out of a real book. It's not a printable. What I do to keep myself square is I will line up this line just by eye with this line. And again, that's from my years of doing kitchen design and doing drawings. You kind of get good at doing that kind of thing. And I think what I'm going to do is, actually, I'm going to use my tear ruler. My new one has a really interesting tear pattern on it that I want to try. So I think I'm going to tear it. I'll tear top and bottom first, just inside my line. Excuse me, it's just a little bit cold in here today. So I'm lined up the back edge there, and I'm just going to move it over a little bit and tear. And see, that gives me a nice random looking cut. I'll do the same thing here, just kind of lining it up. And then I want to get a little bit of this beige. Actually, it would be nice to have the actual aged edge, but I'll keep just a bit of the beige showing. And then I said about 4.5. So I'll go about here. And then that'll fit in there. How even is it? Side to side, it needs to be a little bit slimmer. That's not going to be terribly easy. I'll do it this way. Hold down very firmly so it doesn't slip out on you. And those other bits of maps, I'm just going to throw them in my map drawer to be used for more random projects. Little drink. That needs a good inking, so I'll get my vintage photo. I just want to see how this is looking. This, I think, is kind of dry. This actually has some of that retro brown on this dauber. I think that's all I'm getting. Black still works. There's a walnut stain. Might be what I need to do. I made the mistake of leaving my new inks at my dad's, I think. If they're here, I can't find them. I'm not enjoying this part. I think I need to get that retro brown and use it. I can really kick myself for leaving those behind. think I have a brown enough oxide. Or a green enough one to switch to green. I do have this green, but it's probably too bright for me. I'm gonna just use this dauber. I'm gonna try it on that other map first, just to see how it looks. It's a lot brighter than this green. I bought it because I thought it was this color, dark sagey green, but it's bright. Now if I did that and then put brown or black over it, maybe. Just don't like muddying up my ink pads too much. Yeah, that dulls it down a bit. To more of a color that I would like. This one, as it is, would work well with this map. It's a lot brighter. Let's edge it in green, and then we'll go around it with the retro brown. Create a bit of a blend. I would prefer it to just be dark brown, but so this is a pretty big focal. It would have to be either a really big journaling card or the cover of a, maybe the cover of a book, a big scrapbook type book. Travel pictures from your trip or something like that, or in our case it could be a family photo book with memories of the grandparents and aunts and uncles from Ireland. That dulls it a little bit. Maybe not as much as I would like, but I'm going to try just a little bit of black on top of that. Let's see if that, ooh. Maybe that's just going to kind of cancel everything out, but I kind of like it. I don't often ink in black. Yeah, that actually kind of blends a little bit better. The only other thing I wish I could do is like a vintage photo over top of it, just to dull the whole thing down. But I don't think I'm going to get much ink out of this ink pad. So I won't bother. I won't bother trying because I'll just make myself frustrated. And you. So let's put this down with some glue stick. I've got the Elmer's Extreme that I'm using up. I haven't found it again. I'm really kind of disappointed because it does work a little better than the regular Elmer's. Glue on here. So I put this all over the back, and then I'll put tacky glue as well around the edges and a bit through the center too. Don't go too close to the edge because I really don't want it squeezing out. I just want it to kind of squeeze to the edge. I hold my glue bottle on a slight angle so that the glue can get out. I'm just kind of barely touching the page with the plastic part of the glue bottle tip. And then I do like the upside down bottles the best. So sorry, lady singer, you're getting covered up. Nice little rub down. And then this isn't quite, well, I guess it is. It's an 8.5 by 11. Yeah, it is. So what I'll do is have Danny Boy in the background. And this all needs to be inked too. Let's see how this does after it's had black on it. I'm really making a mess of this retro brown, but honestly, I was not very happy with it. I used it on my Love Is thing, and it was a little bit more pink than brown, which for that project worked okay. But I was kind of hoping it would be like a replacement for Vintage Photo, but no, not even close. So this is kind of being a black brown, more black than brown. Trying to get more brown onto the pad. Oops, broke her leg. Someone's trying to reach me on Messenger. Got a little tear there, so I'm just going to ink that a bit. And we'll put her down with some glue stick as well. Make sure we're not sticky. Why, oh why can't we just put things away? Never seem to be able to. Just having too much fun. And that's too much like work. So this is a big surface. You definitely want to do glue stick all over. Well, I do it this way anyway. I like the glue stick all over for a good overall help sticking it down. And then the tacky glue around all the edges, about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge in most places. Just a thin line is all you really need. And then when it's this big, I'll do like a big zigzag in there. It gives me the chance to move it around where I want it a little more. So we just don't want her feet off the bottom of the page. And I would like to see the music treble clefs down the side. So because this is on an 8.5 by 11, it might be something where you would need to add a strip of paper to make it part of a bigger book. If you wanted it just as a page in a book. I don't do a lot of page decorations like I'm kind of doing right now. See a lot of people saying, you know, show me the page you made today or whatever on Facebook. And it's like, I don't really do pages. I do projects, but I don't really do pages. So here we can fold this. I'm going to, I've got, this is the top opening of the paper bag. And then I think I'm going to cut this open. And then I'm going to put a whale tail. I think that'll work. If it'll cut it. If I can get it in there. Nope, I think I have to do both pieces. So just try to get it centered. Punches it no problem. And then I just need to refold that down a little bit. Like that. So then I've got a tuck spot behind this, a pocket there, tuck spot there, and a pocket there. If I glue this up just right. And I think for this, because it's sort of, it almost feels like parchment paper or something like that. I think it would be wise to use the 3-in-1 glue on it. So I'll go from here. Up the side. I'm going to put this sort of down in this corner. And I can just hold some little, maybe the ATCs that I do can go in these pockets. I think I'm going to do it as a tuck spot. So it won't be so hard to get things in and out. So it's just glued at the bottom and the side. And then this will be open. This glue doesn't take very long to dry and it sticks to more things. That's why I used it on that. It's hard on your nail polish because it's acetone based. Acetone is what you take your nail polish off with, so it will mess up your manicure unless it's a gel. Okay, so there we've got our Map of Ireland, our Irish lady, Danny boy, pockets for ATCs. And then let's stamp some of these Celtic links. Maybe this one would be good. So I just cleaned off my block. I mentioned in a video the other day that my block was covered in brown paper and it made it hard to use it. I couldn't see where I was stamping. So let's do this in, actually let's do it in black. I've got a lot of green on this page already. I think it needs some black. So I'm just gonna try it on something else first. This is the very first time I'm using this stamp. Ooh, nice and crisp. That'll show up nicely. So give it some more ink. I'm going to put it up on the map. And then I think if I had like some lace or something in this corner with a couple of buttons, it might be cute. I do have some green gingham. So I've got 2 stripes already. I'll go throw a gingham in the mix. And I'm thinking of kind of a ruffle that goes like this. So I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to go up a little further than my stamp and lay down a good bead of this 3-in-1. I'm just looking for something to push the fabric with. Okay, I'm going to start up here and just kind of crinkle it up. And then just a little daub to help that lay down. Probably not the most efficient way to do it. And you do see a lot of people sewing these kind of ruffles. Certainly a more effective way to have it ready-made and ruffled and good to go, but I'm just sort of making this on the fly. I'm going to kind of go around the corner and do some more, a bit of a string loose there. Silicone tool would be what I would be looking for this, but I just don't see it. And it is going to ruin these fingernails. I only have one very thin coat on of nail polish. And then we need something to brighten that up, I think. And I've got some, I think we determined that this is called GIMP. Some people weren't so sure, but I think it is. I'm just going to put a little glue on the end of it. Let's stop fraying. Put this just a little bit off center on the ruffle. A little messy. And then I think I will cut it off. I don't want it to completely unravel, so I'm just putting a little bit of glue there. And then a little cluster of buttons maybe. I've also got in the greens some jewels. And what's this one? Oh, it's just, oh, maybe this oval one. A few different colors of green would be good here, I think. I like to get different colors and different sizes when I do usually trios of buttons or things like that. I'm actually going to put this one down here. Got to keep that capped because it evaporates quickly. And then up here, I don't like the way it's kind of bluntly ending, so I want to put something up there. A little metal Celtic link would maybe be the thing. Different kind of element. I'm not sure. Oh, I know what I maybe have is a wax seal. Got a green one with a bee. Oh, and a green one with a Celtic link. It's a very dull green, but that might work. It's a heart too. It's sticky, but I'm going to put 3-in-1 on the back anyway, just to make sure it stays down. And actually, what I should do is put that onto something really lacy. What have I got? Oh, I know. A piece of this. This way. And then I think something round in behind it. Don't want it covering her face either. A little doily or something. It's too red. If that was green, that'd be perfect. Maybe I could just ink this in green. My dauber's dirty, so it's given me a nice mossy green. That'll show up behind that lace. And I think it's a good color with that. That wax seal, faux wax seal, is barely green. I kind of want to lift this up a bit so you can still kind of see her peeking out underneath it. You know how you use those pop-up dots? Have some green faux leather that could work as a pop-up behind it, just to bring it up off the page a bit. I think I want 2 layers of it. So I'm just gonna glue 2 layers together. And they probably should be nice little circles or something, but they're not. They're just whatever they are. There. So her face is in behind, but you know, in real life you can see her face peeking out. The heart is straight up and down. The lace is kind of off kilter, but that's okay. Tickets, tags, something like that. Postage stamps, that's what I got. That's what we'll use. Okay. Where did the postage stamps get to? Up here. So on the front of this maybe. Let's see. Which one looks the best? I think that one, because the color of the flowers is pretty close to the color of that pink in the map. And I'll use my ripple scissors to just give this a more casual edge. I do have postage stamp edged scissors, but these postage stamps already have that, and it's tiny. I would just rather see it look like it was torn off of the envelope. Like that. And then I'm going to ink that again with that green. Which is now kind of mossy because I mixed it with black and brown. More like what I would want. And I'm going to put that right on here, but I don't think that's all I want. So let's see what else. I've got the word O'Brien. Which doesn't really mean anything to me except my husband is Brian. And I think I will use like that. And then maybe another little piece of this or something else. Maybe some of this paper. Oh, here. Some sort of like seam binding lace. So I'll lay that down up here. It's got a curve in it from where it was folded, so I'm going to cut that off because it won't lay down very well. Put that there. And then the postage stamp. Like that. And it can actually hang down beyond the bottom of the bag because it just can. And then the O'Brien can go over top of the postage stamp. Okay, I think maybe a couple more of the Celtic stamps is in order. I've got these other shapes that I could try. Maybe on top of the music in different spots down in this corner. Maybe one of these guys. How do I want that? Like that? Or like that? No, I want one of the sections going into the corner. And I think I'll do that one in green just to see, just to vary it a little bit. Now this is going to give me quite a bright green again, but I think that's okay. I never thought about the buttons being there. Shoot. Try to do this, yeah. Don't know if I can get it in the exact same spot, but I'm going to try. That's what the blocks are supposed to help you with. There, not too bad. Pretty good, actually. And then what? the round ones, I think, since I've got a circle here. I think I like this one. And I don't know what the different ones symbolize or mean or are called at all. If anybody knows, do share. We'd all love to know. So what color do I want to do this one in? Maybe in the brown. Brown black. Let's see what it gives me. I think it's kind of rose goldish. You can see the shimmer on the stamp. Even with the black mixed onto that ink pad, it's still coming up kind of shimmery. So let's put this up here. I think I would like another one of those. Maybe overlapping the map up in here. It's not terribly dark. And then when I make my ATCs, I'll put them in these pockets. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that page. I can see why people do pages, I guess. I like the theme. I like the way it turned out. I don't know if it needs more. I think it's done for now. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my creative process. I'm gonna stick that in there for now. If you do like seeing this kind of experimental crafting, not so much a tutorial, but just a come along and see what I do today kind of video, then like, comment, share, subscribe. But most of all, have a great day. Happy crafting.